So the question is to create a lambda function to square a number. So here the solution is actually I will create a square variable equals then lambda. Then I will give the variable I want to return and the equation then. After that I will print square and pass any value like 5 in it so that I can after running let's check the program output that is 25. So 5 square is 25. So that's the correct answer. You can check how it is working here. The basic equation, whatever the equation is, first the equation will be solved. Then it will return into x. So now the x equal 25 and it is equals to the square. So e square becomes the value of squares become 25. After that, we have the question to create a lambda function to find the large of two number. So I'm creating a variable with large equal to lambda. Then pass, I will pass here largest of two number. So I will pass two variables here, x comma y. Then I will check x if x is greater than y, else y. Means if x is greater than y, it will return x, otherwise it will return y. And here x comma y says that I am using two variables here in the lambda function. Then we have map question, that is use map to square every n number in a list. So first of all, I will create a list having different elements like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I will make a variable name square equal. Then I will create a list of these mapped elements. So I will use map, then any function, the working, whatever I want to do. So I will use lambda x into x. I need a square of each element of L list. So what will happen here? It will access each element from the list L and give it to the function and square each values and make a separate list by using map function. So this is the answer when you print the square list again. Next question is to use map to convert all string to uppercase. So to do this question, first of all, we need a list having all the elements in lowercase. First of all, I will create a list. Up, string lambda. No. I have to use map function here. Then the function that is lambda x. Then what I want x dot upper of each element, comma, and each element of what x. But here s is a string. So want a string. Now let's try this. Is it working or not? Maybe not, but let's check. Is it work or not? No, it will not work because Yeah, because we are using str there, but it will return always a list of mapped elements. So you can check the answer now. After that, we can convert this list into the string again by using the join method. Then the next question is to use filter to find even numbers. So first of all, I will create a list L having different elements 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I will use a variable. I will create a variable even equals then filtered list of filtered elements using function. So lambda function, what will do? It will check whether if x modulus 2 equals 0, then it will return x to it, otherwise not. And from where I want the elements? From L. Now print the even. Let's check the output. Here there is a problem. There is no need of if condition here. It will automatically check whether x modulus 2 equals 0, then it will return x. So this is the output. You can see. Next question is used to use filter to find prime numbers. First of all, I will create a list having all the numbers I want to check, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then I will create a prime variable initialized with list of filtered, means filter method. Then the function I want to check. So what will I check here? I will use lambda. Uh, Maybe here we can use a different function rather than a lambda function. So I will create a separate function that is prime and give it value in it. Then I will print prime. So now I need to make a separate function is prime. Let's make it using def keyword. Then is prime. Then a variable is passed on it, that is x. Then I will check whether this number is prime or not. If it is prime, it will append in the list, otherwise not. First of all, so prime number can be considered as the number which is divisible by itself and by 1. So I will check whether a number is divisible by 1 and itself. So it is divisible 2 times. So if j equals 2, then it will be a prime number, otherwise not. So now so this is the condition I put here. Check whether the number is prime or not. If it is j equals 2, then it will print, sorry, it will nothing print. It will directly, if j equal to, then it will return true. Is true, then it will append in the list. Otherwise, if it is false, then it will not. So here it should be true and else false. So this is the whole program I need to make for this function. Now here it should be, I should remove x because it will automatically access each element one by one. Now let's run the program. Then the output is 3257 and all of these numbers are prime number. So the output is correct. Now the next question is to use reduce to find the sum of list elements. So we have a list here, L equal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I will use a variable list. Can't use a variable name list because list is a keyword. That's why I am using here S. Then I will use list. I will use reduce method. And I need to make a function that is lambda function x comma y equal x plus y. Then I have to give a list. So I am giving here L iterable. Then I am printing S. So what should it do? It will pass each value one by one. Like first it will pass 1 and 3. So the sum of 1 and 3 is 3. So then it will pass 3 and the next element that is 3 and the sum of 3 and 3 is 6. Then it will pass 6 and 4. Then the sum of 6 and 4 is 10 and if then it will pass 10 comma 5. Then the sum of 10 comma 5 is 15. So to use reduce method, we have to import it first using this from fun tools import reduce. Then if we run the program and check whether it is working or not, let's check. So again, it is showing an error. So what is the error? Yeah, it should be func tools. Make sure you know how to import reduce method in Python programming. So this is the syntax. Then, so 15 is the answer as we have discussed. Now we have the next question, and the next question is to write a function that returns another function. So I will create a function named f1 passing value n on it. Then, so what should this function do? So I will create a n variable integer input from the user, enter number, then colon. Then what will I do? I will just call the function one by passing this value on it. And then function one, what will done? It will multiply, it will square first, then return the value with function plus f of 2 with passing x on second function. Now it will goes to the second function and here we are passing x as a variable and what it will return x plus any number like 2. So what will happen here? Let's check. If I will give the number 5 here. Then what we'll do? It will goes first in the function one, then it will square the value and that is 25, and it will goes to the function two, call the function two, and function two is 2 plus 2. So 25 plus 2 is 27, and 27 return out. Today, we discuss about the unit number 5, which these are the topics set in this unit. Goods terminology, these supply data hiding, encapsulation, of the use of class, what are objects, so on. Super method. So starts with the introduction of the terminology. So object-oriented programming is a programming paradigm based on the concept of objects, which can contain the data, and data is a form of fields, often known as attributes or properties, and in the form of procedure, often known as methods. Class. A user-defined prototype for an object that defines a set of attributes that characterize any object of the class. Object, a unique instance of a data structure that defined by its class. An object comprises four data numbers, class variables, and instance variable, and method. What are instance? Instance are an individual object of a certain class. What are method? Method, a special kind of function that is defined in a class definition. What are attributes? Attributes, a variable that belongs to an object or class. So how we create a class? Defining a class in Python uses the class keyword followed by the class name and a colon. By conversion class name using Pascal case. Then we have double dash underscore init method that is also known as constructor. So this method is a special method automatically called when a new instance of class is created. So here it is given that how to create a class. So we have to use class keyword to create a class. After using class keyword, we have to name we have to write the name of that class, and then we have to mention a colon. Then we can write the programming. After that, we can write the program. Parameter is given. Before that, it is used to initialize the object state. The constructor is also used to initialize the object state. Then we have the self parameter. So self is represents the instance of the class. By using self keyword, we can access the attribute and method of a class in the Python. It binds the attributes with the given arguments. No, self is not a keyword. You could call it this or me, but self is the strict conversion. We will use these methods and parameters, then you will understand clearly. For now, you can check the definition and know the definition of these words because they are important. They ask many times in the Viva and in any programming languages or programming languages. The OOPS concept and these type of things like constructor, objects, instance, attributes, their definitions are so much important. Now let's check the syntax and example. So here we are making a class using class keyword. Then we are writing a name that is dom, then colon. Then I create a variable that is species and is initializing it with a string. And then I am using a constructor that is def. We already know that how to create a function using def keyword. Then I'm using the double underscore init double underscore, then self name and age. Self dot name equal name, then self dot age equal age. Then I'm creating another function and I'm returning something. So the function is description having self as a parameter. So here what it is doing, it is returning the f string that is self dot name, self dot age. So why it is able to access the self dot name and age value and what's the with this value of self dot age and self dot name. So it is able to access the value by as we know we create the self in the constructor. So the main work of constructor is to give the access of all the variables using self keyword. Now we have creating instance object. So creating an object is also known as instantation. To create an instance of a class, you call the class using its name and pass in any arguments that the init method accepts. Like the given example here, like we have a one, then I have a class, so I am writing the name, I am passing to the instructor that is W, and then the age is 4. Then the next object I am making dot equal the class name dot, and then the name, comma, age. Then accessing attributes. So attributes can be accessed using the dot operator. You can access both instance objects and methods. So how we can access the attributes and methods in this class? We can use dot operator like here. Example is given here like print dot one dot name, then body will print. If we print dot two dot age, then its age will print. Then if we print uh, dot one dot species, then output will be uh, given. Then we have calling methods. How we can call the methods. Here is species. So here species is given already. That's why the species are given. It's a global variable. That's why it will also be written by dog one and as well as by dog two. Then we have calling methods. So we can print dog one dot descriptions. So these are the calling method of functions that we have created in the class. How we can modify attributes. You can modify the values of attributes directly. One dot age equal 5, print dog one dot age. So we are directly modifying the values here. Then we have class inheritance. Inheritance allows us to define a class that inherits all the methods and properties from the another class. This is promotes full code reusability. Parent class, that is the base class being inherited from. Then the child class, the class that inherits from another class. Basically, it means in this case, the class inherits the methods from another class, and the inherited class is known as parent class, and the class that is inheriting the attributes and methods from the class is known as child class. So here example is given here how they are inheriting values. Then we have example of a single inheritance like class vehicle. Then I have a constructor def and then def start engine. Then we have another class name class and I have given a vehicle parameter in it. So this type of thing is a single inheritance. Then we have used def drive self return the car is. Then we have created an object my car by using car and I give the parameter in it Toyota. So Toyota will basically goes to vehicle, and vehicle in vehicles the parameter is goes to the constructor. So brand name equals to Toyota. Then if we print my car dot brand, it will print Toyota. So if we call the function like my car dot start engine, so it will return engine started because we are able to inherit the function and methods and attributes of vehicles by using car class. So this, however, this object is of car class, but we can inherit the methods of vehicle class as well because we are inheriting the methods and attributes of that class. Then we have overriding methods. So methods overriding occurs when a child class provides a specific implementation of a method that is already defined in its parent class. The method in the child class must be the same name as the method in the parent class. Using super, the super function return the temporary object of super class that return you to call the method of the base class. This is useful if you want to extend the functionality of the parent method rather than replacing it entirely. So here you will understand this thing when we will do example. So let's check the example first. Here the class animal is given. Then we have a function that is def speak and having a parameter of self. Then simply I am returning some generic sound. Then I have a class of dog and I am inheriting animal in it. So overriding of speak is here. Like we have created two speak function in animal and dog as well. Return bark. Then we have a class cat animal. Then our same function speak. So calling the parent method, like we have a original sound super dot speak. So here the value will return is some generic sound. So super state that the parent class speak function should be returned here. So here the value of original sound will be some generic sound. Then a return f original sound but specific meow, especially meow. Then I have created three checked here: A animal, D for dog class, then C for cat class. Then I'm printing A dot speak. So it will goes to the animal class and speak function. Whatever the speak function is returning, it will print automatically some generic sound. Then I am printing the value of. Then we have printed D dot speak. However, we have inherited the animal class in which the speak function is available. But Python check whether the speak function is also available in D in that class. If it is, then it will print or return the value of that function. Same with C dot speak. Same thing will happen with C dot speak. If the speak function is available in the cat class, and as we know, we have inherited the animal class, but it will run the speak function from the cat class. Then we have data hiding, that is encapsulation. So data hiding ensures that the internal implementation details of a class are hidden from the outside in Python. This is achieved through naming conventions. Level of access, public, accessible from anywhere by anyone. The example self root name. Then we have protected, indicated by a single underscore. Like given example here, these are these are used for internal use only, but in technical accessible. Then we have private indicated by double underscore. Python performs name banking to make it harder to access these from outside the class. Example self dot double underscore password. Then we have example private attribute given here. Basically, what are these public private protected? These are different level of access that are provided to the user. If we use public, the variable and the variable can be accessed by anyone. And if we use private, the variable can be accessed by only certain people. And if we are using protected, then a certain criteria is given to the user to access. Then we have example of private attributes given here. We have a class background count. Then we have a constructor having self, owner, and balance. So self dot owner is a public value that can be accessed from the outside of class. Then we have a self dot underscore balance equal balance that is private that cannot be accessed from the outside of the class. Like we have a function also given here. Deposit self out. Then we are doing some work here. Then we have a get balance function also. So if we make an account object of this class, then we print account dot owner. So it will print the value without any error. Then if we print account dot get balance, so it will print the value without any error. But if we print account dot underscore balance, it will raise error because this is a private value. This is an attribute error. We are not able to access this value outside from the class. If we want, we have to create a different function like here, get balance. We are making function. Then accessing private members mainly. So although meant to be hidden, private variables can technically be accessed using the magnet name. So how we can access like even here underscore class name underscore variable name. This is the thing we can how we can access the value. So if we write print account dash bank account dash balance, then we can access the amount as well. Now it will not raise any error. Function overloading. And Python does not support traditional function overloading, defining multiple methods with the same name but different parameters, like C++ or Java. If you define methods with the same name, the second one simply override the first. However, we can stimulate overloading using default arguments, variable length arguments, multiple dispatch libraries. Then we have stimulating overloading with the default arguments. So this is the most Platonic way to handle the methods that can accept a different number of arguments. Now we have example here, like we have a class calculator, then we have a function def add self equal a comma b equal none c equal none. So what we are doing for better programming or stimulating overloading, we have created argument here. And if B is not known, C is not known, then this will return. If B is not known, then this will return. Else A will return. So we can, if we give one argument in the function, it will return the value. If it will, we will give 4, 3, then they will, it will return the value. So this is the stimulating overloading. How we stimulate overloading. We can also stimulate overloading using argument.
star ARG. Yes, using this we can pass any number of positional arguments. Like even here class printer, then we have uh, def print data, then self star argument. And if the length of arguments equal 1, then we can print only one arguments. If they are two, we can print two arguments. If they are three, then it's an invalid argument. Like even here, we have not we have created a p object, then we are calling p dot print data by passing hello. So simply it will print hello. Then we are passing two variables, two arguments. Then it will print hello world, hello and world. If we pass three variables, three arguments, it will list the data arguments, isn't it? So these are the bits of Unit 5. However, you are not, I think you are not able to clear, you're not able to understand these topics, but when we will do some questions, you can clearly able to understand these topics.
So the question is to write a class student with attributes name and roll number and display its details. So here, firstly, we will create the class using class keyword and then name, that is student. Then I will make a constructor, that is def, then double underscore init double underscore. Then I use self keyword to access these elements anywhere, then name, then roll number. Then I'm initializing these things like self dot date name equal name, self dot roll number equal roll number. Why we are doing this thing? So that we can access these elements in anywhere. Means we can access these elements in this class anywhere. Then I created a function display to display these values. Then I also give a parameter self to access each element that I stored, like self dot name, self dot roll number. So then I am printing using f string these elements. Then I simply create a object of this subject. How to of this class, how to create a object. See, I created a variable named student1 equals student, that is the class. Then I give it the arguments, that is name and roll number, ones and one. Then I simply print student1 dot, the thing I want to access, the method I want to access is display. So I write that. After entering, it will result name once and then row number one. You can also do a thing, you can check how it is working. So here the answer is name once, then row number one. So none is printed before because of my print statement I have been used here. Next question is to create a class car with attributes brand and model. Create two object and display their details. So simply I will create a class name car. Then I will create a constructor, that is init. You and this is the method, this is the syntax how to make a constructor. Then I use self and then the brand and the model parameters I will give. Then I will initialize the value self dot brand equal brand, self dot model equal model, model equal model. After that, what will I do? I will use I will make a function, that is display function, and in I will give a parameter in it, that is self, to access these upper elements, initialized element. Then I will use f string to print the values in a different way, like brand equal, then the brackets and the thing I want to print in between brackets. Then the next line, then I want to write model,
then the colon, then the brackets, and the thing I want to print between the brackets. After that, I will create an object named car1 and equals to initialize with car. And as we know, we have created a constructor at the above of the class, so that's why I have to give here a brand name and a model name. Then I also created a second object having different brand name and model like Maruti and 1998. Then I will use car.display. So what will happen here? It will display all the details of car1 only that I have given here in the class when I created a object, and then car2.display. So let's check self. Wait, there is a spelling mistake here. Now run the program. So this is the output. Firstly, it will display car1 details, then it will display car2 details. So both the object run separately. Next question is to create a class rectangle with length and width, display both values. So creating a class named rectangle, rectangle, then colon, then enter. I will create a constructor now, or I can use directly use display method. Def, I'm creating a function display. However, I have taken a display method here directly, but I have to give a self keyword as well here. Means self parameter is compulsory here to give. You can check it will not run with length and width only, as I have given two parameters here, length and width only, and I am printing both the values. Now I am creating a object named C1, then the class name rectangle, and in brackets I have to give the values of length and width, sorry. Now I will call this C1 dot display function. Let's check whether it will work or not. So it will show here an error because here we have to use self parameter as well, and the keyword, wait, I will show you all the possibility of wrong answer. So here I have to use self keyword also, then comma, then L, then W. Now it will run perfectly because if we give the constructor in a rectangle, then we can give the parameter in the rectangle class whenever we are making an object. Otherwise we have to directly give the parameters and arguments in the whenever we call the methods and functions. No need of giving the parameters and arguments while making an object if we have not created any constructor in the class. Next question is to create an employee class with constructor parameters for ID, name, and salary. Simple, we have already done these type of questions. Like we have created a constructor here using init function, then self, then ID, then name, then salary. So what will I do now? I will create three variables here: self.id equal ID, self.name equal name, self.salary equal salary, so that we can access each these elements in anywhere in the class.
Now I will create a function named display to display these values. Whenever I will call this method using any object, it will display all the values using print f string. Then what I want to print, the id, self.id, then backslash n, then the name. Also, if you print these values, self.name, self.print, salary, self.id, outside the class, they will print successfully. So you can check in your Python compiler whether it is working or not. Self.salary. Now I will simply create a an object that is C1, and then the class that is employee. And if I created here any constructor, then I need to give the parameters as well here, give the arguments here. Once any, and the salary, anything, 1 lakh, 1 lakh 40,000, whatever you want. Then what will I do? I will call c1.display function to display these values, to display all the details of c1 object. So here the information of c1 object will be displayed. Now we have the next question is to create a calculator class with method for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. These type of questions are like good for practicing. So let's try. I will simply create a class calculator, then colon. Then I will create different functions for addition. So firstly, I will create a function for addition in which I will take two parameters including self, three parameters including self. Then what will I return? I will return x plus y. Then I will create a subtraction function in which I will give three parameters and return x minus y, sorry. Then I will create a third multiplication function in which I will take three parameters same. Then I will return x multiply y. However, we are not using self dot x equal x, self dot y equal y. Why we are not using here? Because if we don't want to access these elements outside the class, there is no need to mention these things. But it is compulsory to mention self in every function, because it shows that in Python it will automatically takes three parameters in it. So that's why we have to give a self parameter as advance here. And the fourth function I created here, division, with the same three parameters, and return x by y. Then let's check. I will create a object here, calculator. Then simply I'm calling addition, and I'm giving two numbers here like 1 and 2. Then I'm again calling, it should be print because we are returning the value from the function. Now I will use print c1 dot whatever I want to call, that is subtraction. Now subtraction, I want to subtract 3 from 2, 2 from 3, sorry. Then I will print c1 dot multiplication. Then the two numbers I want to multiply are 3 and 4, that is 12. Then I will print c1 dot division 10 comma 5, 10 comma 5. So let's check the output first. So these are the outputs I'm getting, and 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 minus 2 is 1, 4 multiplied 3 is 12, and 5 10 divides by 5 is 2.0. That's correct. So these are the questions that are related to the class. Now the next question is to create a class animal that inherit dog class. So this is, now I'm creating a class animal in which I am creating a function that is sound. Again, I will give the first parameter self, and then I will do the thing I want to do in the function, that is I want to print something here, like print animal class or animal sound. Then I will create another class named dog, but this time I will inherit the animal class. So how to inherit? Simply use brackets, then write the class you want to inherit. What this mean by inherit? So we can access the functions from another class by using inheritance. We have already discussed this thing in our unit 5 discussion, or unit 5 YouTube video. Then I created a function here named bark. Then I'm printing dog sound here. So now let's check how inheritance works here. I'm creating a object c1 here now with using animal class. Wait, for inheritance I am using dog class here, and now I will call d1 dot c1 dot sorry c1 dot sound. So as we know, in dog there is a no function named sound, but it will access the sound function from the animal, because we have given that dog class can inherit the functions from animal class. So they both will run successfully, both the function that is present in the dog class and that is not present in the dog class, but we are inheriting it from the animal class. That's why they will run both successfully. So these are the questions you can practice in your Python compiler.